Okay, let me know if you can hear me. There will be an echo because I have my volume on so I can hear when it does come on. Okay, it looks like it's working on my end. Is it working on your guys' end? Let me know. Okay, let me know if you can hear me. There will be an echo because I have my volume on so I can hear when it does come on. I think because I had everything turned off and shut down and haven't been on here, it just automatically turned my volume off. So you guys can hear it now. I'm so sorry, you guys. What a mess. Yay, everybody can hear me now. Thank you, you guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, so the first thing I want to make sure what you could do is make sure I'm on live chat and not top chat because you want to make sure it's current as we go. And hopefully everything is working okay now. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so the people that are coming in late, it's going to say can't hear because they started it after. For those of you that are current, yay, I'm glad we have volume now. Oh, thank you guys so much. Okay, so a little bit about my week, and if you guys know about my week, it has been one heck of a frazzling week. So my daughter and son-in-law and my granddaughter all came on last Friday, a week ago Friday, and they stayed until this Friday. So we got to visit. We had a great time. We went to Santa Cruz. The kids loved it. My granddaughter was able to go on all rides. She didn't. She was like, I am not going on that ride. And I was like, oh, I'll stay with her because some of those rides, nah. The Big Dipper is too crickety for me. It's the old wooden kind of roller coaster, and I don't like those kind. So anyway, thanks, Jeannie. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks, Gloria. So anyway, we had a great time, wonderful time. It was only 81 degrees there, but it felt like 120 on the boardwalk because it was super hot. The sun was just blaring right on the boardwalk, but we had a wonderful time. So that being said, that was a full day. We drove over in the morning. We actually drove the day before because we went camping. We took our motor home and camped, and it was a lot of fun because I wish we would have stayed another day. We had a beach day the first day, and then the park the second day, and that's when my son came over. Anyway, so that's how the week started. And then my son and my daughter, they got together and they had dinner and had a good time over there. And then um, everybody got to visit. My daughter got to go visit friends and everything because she's from Oregon. Then came Saturday. No, let's see. Today's Sunday. Then came Thursday. They flew home Friday. Thursday came along and they decided they've got to get their In-N-Out burger fix before they head back home to Oregon. So they decided they borrowed my husband's car. That's the car they drive when they're here. We have a little tiny Ford, I don't know what it is. We call it, it's the tiniest car. Anyway, we just pull it behind our motorhome. So my husband's been driving that. He's like, I'll drive that. They can take the car because they've got my granddaughter. And they went out and went to the burger place. My granddaughter stayed here, and my daughter and son-in-law just decided to go for a drive and have some lunch. Then I get this panic phone call from my daughter. And there was a 4-car pileup. Everybody is perfectly fine. My son-in-law broke his arm. So his arm is like, it was like a V. It was like a V right here. So this is the night before they're going home. It was about 3:40 in the afternoon. Sparky is what we call it. Thank you, Stephanie. I could not think of it. Sparky is what my husband called him because I think it's a Spark. A Ford Spark, I think. I don't know. Chevy Spark. I don't know. Anyway, tiny thing. I don't like driving in it. So they got into an accident. It was a 4-car, just a bumper to bumper car accident. But our car, we think, is totaled. We'll find out on Monday. But everybody's fine. Jeremy, my son-in-law, they went and had him, uh, they, they set his arm and bandaged it up because they said if they do surgery, he's not going to get to go home the next day. My daughter had to go to work, blah, blah, blah. And they said it would be fine. But as soon as he gets to Oregon, he's going to have to go see an orthopedic surgeon and see what they think and go from there. And usually ERs just bandage it up anyway and send you on your way, and then you go see a specialist. So luckily I said, you know what, let the ambulance take you. We have car insurance. Take the ambulance because otherwise you'll be in that ER all night long. Good thing he did because he went about 4 o'clock. They took him to the hospital and we picked him up about 10. So he was there for 6 hours. There were people still waiting 17 hours in the waiting room. And my daughter couldn't be there, all blah, blah. So that was a heck of a weekend we've had. So it's Sunday and I'm glad I'm back to normal. I'm doing videos again. And I'm super excited you guys are here. The other update is our youngest daughter, who is pregnant and due at the end of this month. We have been told the baby seems to be like a big baby. And so what they're going to do is have her do a C-section at the end of the month. So we are scheduled to go. And so bingo is on. So I know everybody, we were kind of like, what's going to happen with bingo? We didn't know about our daughter, when she was going to go into labor and all that kind of stuff. Well, the doctor says he does not foresee her going early. Everything looks fine. But they are going to do a C-section because the baby's a big baby, they say. So we'll see about that. I don't always agree with that. I have so many people that have said, oh, the baby's going to be big. The doctor said baby's big and it's like 6 pounds, 7 pounds. So we'll see. Although Dad was 9 pounds. So we'll see about that. But we will be going to Montana at the very end of the month. So that being said, bingo is all good. I will be here for bingo. So I'm excited about that. So please don't forget. I don't recall if I put my hints on here. I did not put my hints on here. So if you go over to my Marcie Besecker Designs on Facebook, then you're going to see there's some sneak peeks of the bingo items. So I think you'll be really excited about them. A lot of people wanted fall, and there is some fall there. Hi, Betty. How are you? I am in Clovis. I know you know where that's at. Not very far from you. Hi, Olivia. How are you? Thank you, Dar. Yeah, everybody's fine. Everybody's good. So, what other update? That's about it. Other than I'm noticing on camera that I'm really red here because I did go out in the sun yesterday after company was gone and everything. I said I am going to go float in my pool and just rest a little bit and craft. Those were my 2 things yesterday. I always put sunscreen on my face. I didn't put it on because I was only going to go out and kind of float around for a few minutes and get out, and then I fell asleep. So that's okay. All right, so today's video, I showed you guys the picture of what we're going to do. So let me just quickly, again, this is what I'm going to show you a little bit about, is how I did some of these different techniques on this card. And I'm also going to show you another card that I used with the stencils. I call them stencils. Stampin' Up calls them masks, and I'm trying to get used to that, but they're stencils. That's what I call them. So mask, stencils, same thing. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of that. I'm going to show you how I created the flowers with the branch up there. I'm going to show you how I did the ribbon. So I'm going to show you some different techniques about this card. And I'm also going to show you another card that I created that has the same similar look to it, but it's actually going to be a completely different card. So let's get busy. So here is the card that we're going to do. parts of. I mean, I'm not gonna show you coloring or anything today. What I do want to say is this is the stamp set, the Apple Harvest that's in the catalog. And we've just come out with some new called Perfect Partners. And this is one of the stamps, the die sets. So there is some stamp sets in the catalog that did not have dies, and they do now. So this is one of them, and I was just really excited because I love this set. I think it's perfect for a sentiment that's just general. Thinking of you, like this one says, the greatest gift is a good friend. You could be thinking of you. You could just do all kinds of, I hope you're feeling better. There's a lot of just general sentiments that you could use with this. So I really loved the set, and once the dies came out, I loved it. Now, one of the things that I do want to tell you is make sure when you're looking at the dies, and I didn't pull them all out, but when you're looking at the dies, look at them like the waterfall one. There's a lot of little grass in there and some little, branches and just little things that you can use for all kinds of projects. So don't just think of it for that stamp set. If you don't have that stamp set, it could still be definitely a great set. This one has a great scallop. It has a nice long sentiment, which I used here. Lots of leaves you can use for different things and flowers. And then you've got I think those are pearls, whatever's in the middle. I don't have that set your card. Oh, thank you, Michelle. So let's get busy and show you a couple things. One of the things I want you to know is we're going to be using the shimmer white embossing powder. I like to put a baggie over the top and then screw the lid on the top, because one of the things I don't like about the paste is it dries super fast, which is great when you're doing a project, not so great when it's in your jar and it dries up. So I just put a baggie on there, and then I put the lid on, and it just lasts really well. So let's do the flowers first. I'm going to show you a couple things that I did here, and then we're going to get into the messy part. So I'm just going to bring in one of my little craft mats here. I've already did some flowers, so I just want to show you kind of how I did this, because it's super simple, and I tried a couple different ways because these have a lot of lines in them and a lot of, let me go to it closer and see if that helps. Okay, so since this has a lot of lines and texture in the die cuts, let's see, we're going to need 1, 2, I'm going to do 2 large leaves and 3 small, so I have an extra leaf. And then we're going to use these 3. I had another one somewhere, but I might have lost it. I'm only going to do the 3 flowers, even though when you look on here, I did 4, because I decided to add one down here. I cut off that apple. So if you look right here, this apple has a flower. It really shows on the outside of this flower if it were there. So what I did is I just brought this in, and I just kind of went down like this and left the center stem part so it had something to adhere to. I wanted it lift up just like these are. So we'll get back to that in a minute. So what I did is I took my daubers here, and I'm going to take polished pink and petal pink, because I looked up what apple blossoms look like, and it looks like they're like a softer color on the inside and a little more pink on the outside. So let's just move this aside for now. Let's do our flowers. So we're going to take our petal pink, and so I'm just going to take my dauber, and I'm just going to kind of twirl it just a little bit. I like to just kind of turn it. These are very inky ink pads because I got new ink pads, so they're super inky. My last class, I had quite a few people, and one set of inks going around was pretty difficult, so I decided, all right, I'm just going to get new ones, and now I have 2 sets for class. It's going to be much easier. All right, so there we have our petal pink, and now we're going to take our polished pink. Same thing now, but now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of brush off like this. Okay, I'm just going to start on the petal because it was pretty bright pink, and you can do it whatever you want. Super bright, not super bright, whatever you want. Now, usually when I use my daubers, what I like to do is use what's on there first to see if it's too dark, not dark enough, but I knew that these needed ink because I've been using these. But you can definitely start, and if you just kind of brush it off, you're not going to get that dauber mark on there, right? You just want to kind of make them more vibrant, and they'll lighten up a little bit as you do them. Okay, you just kind of want to blend the colors in, so I just kind of make the tips a little darker than the inside. So I just kind of brush them on. All right, so there are our 3 flowers. Now what I'm going to do is I have polished pink all over my mat. So what I'm going to do is take a dry tissue and just wipe it. I don't want to do a wet one because I'm still working on some stuff here. So I'm just going to pick up what little bits on there. And I'm going to come back in with petal pink, but I don't even think I need to open up the ink. What we're going to do is take our little stems here that are in the inside, and I'm just going to lightly color them. It looked like I wanted to do black at first, but then like I said, when I looked up the apple blossoms, it looked like it had a light color on the inside. So now what we could do is take this, oops, and just lay it there in the center to kind of hold it. All right, so there we go. And the center, if it stays white, the very center, it's okay because we're going to do something with that. And now we'll just turn this one. So that was pretty much it for my flowers. We'll set those aside for right now. And now I'm going to bring out olive green, because I love olive green for leaves. You could do pear pizzazz, you could do whatever you want, but we're going to start out with our olive. Now this one, you can tell, is really poofy. It's been used quite a bit. So again, I'm just going to start out with my flowers, my leaves I mean, and just kind of get them the color that I want. Now I can tell you what I did try first is I tried to put it, I did the paper first and then I die cut them out. The reason I ended up not liking that is, number one, the ink didn't really get into the grooves of your images there, the detail of your die cut. Also, on the outside of your flowers, it kind of, well, and your leaves, it kind of left them white, and so you had to go back in and kind of color them anyway. So I was like, I don't want to do that. All right, and see how I got a dark green spot there, and I don't care about that because I like to get you know, different colors on there. So this is, again, old olive, and now I'm going to switch this and bring out pear pizzazz. And now I just have to find my pear pizzazz one. I think I would have it right where I know. So this is what I did. I told you guys last time. I just close it up, and oh, it's right here. I can look on the bottom and see the colors. So here's my pear pizzazz, and now I'm going to hold them. Okay, and now I'm just going to go around with a different color. It just kind of brightens it up a little bit, and just kind of do the edges, and it just adds a little more color, a different shade. Hi Tashana, how are you? So yeah, I was very thankful that my granddaughter wasn't in the car, because my poor daughter called up hysterical, and first thing she said is, oh my God, Mom, there was a 4-car pileup. And I was like, oh no. And it wasn't really a 4-car pileup. It was a bumper to bumper 4-car thing. but it's, you know, scary, especially when it's not your own car, you know, all that stuff. So I felt really terrible for her. She was really upset. But everybody was fine, and minor issues, so that's good. All right, so there we go. We just add some different color, just some different dimension on there. And I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can kind of see the different colors. So nothing, you know, too crazy. You're not adding a bunch of colors. I didn't feel the need to go darker with like mossy meadow or anything like that. I just wanted a different tone on there. And so that's what I did. So now we're going to let those dry. And then we'll put all this together in a little bit. So we'll set this one aside. And I'm going to just slide that over. And now we're really going to get messy. Okay. Let's actually do our ribbon first. I'm going to show you what I did with the ribbon. So how I did this is I made sure I was going to do a two loop ribbon. All right. So I always do it on my hand and kind of get an idea of, you know, what I need. Then what I did is I'm going to bring in this. So I'm just going to show you, if you're joining late, just some of the different techniques that I decided that I used on this card right here. Okay. The other thing, what I did, if you can see it close, the ribbon has, it's a kind of different. I didn't color the whole thing. And so what I did is I took my, this one happens to be the light polished pink. And what I did is I went right along the edge of the gold and just lay it down and go right along the edge. Just one line. Use the tip of your pen and go right along so you can still see your ivory ribbon on the edge. It's kind of hard to see like this, but you will once you put it all together. All right, so you're just going to go right along the edge. So you're going to see your gold and your ivory. Being that we used petal pink on this, I wanted it to be kind of, you know, combine those colors in our ribbon. I didn't want pink. I thought it would be just too much. And I didn't want ivory. I thought it would be lost because there's quite a bit of ivory on there. So I decided I'm going to make it both. So just do one quick line. You could do this with so many different colors too. You don't have to color the whole thing. Just, and do it quickly. You don't want it to absorb, okay? So just go along quickly and color it in. If you take your time, then it's really going to start picking up that color. Okay, so the next thing what I did is, of course, I cut it in half. So this can be really easy to get off the center, and it's okay if it does. You just don't want to cut it, and you know, you don't want to cut it. You want to all the way cut it down the middle, and you don't want to accidentally cut your sides, which is easy to do because you're just going along thinking, oh, it's right down the center, and it's not. And like I said, it doesn't have to be down the center, but you want your satiny ribbon part on both sides to stay like that and not cut it. All right. For those of you that won the last drawing, I have not sent your cards out. I have quite a crazy week, and I am hoping to get those all done tomorrow to get out to you. So hopefully they'll go out on Tuesday. And for the boxes for the embossing buddy, I mailed those out, but I do remember one other person putting an order in. I just have to go back and look at the orders and see who that was that did also put the embossing kit there in your order, and I'll get that out to you. I just don't remember off the top of my head who it was. Okay. Now these right here were as dark as these right here, and these will lighten. So don't worry about like, oh, but they don't really match. They'll be fine. All right, and then whoops. Then you want to take, see how it lightened up? Even the marker on here lightened up a lot. It doesn't matter how it's matching or if it's facing each other or anything, it's okay. And just do your double ribbon and then tie it. So you're just going to put both sides of the ribbon side by side and tie it like normal. And if you haven't seen me do a bow or know how to do my bow, it is on, I have a bow video. Just type in bows under my videos and you'll find it. But these, it's harder with two little ones that are trying to sneak away on you for sure. All right, so just get those under. And of course I did the ribbon pretty much the length I want. So that's harder too, but okay, there's one. Yeah, the guy at Santa Cruz was telling us just the week before it was so windy and the sand was just blowing all over the place, and so we picked a really good weekend to go. So that was good. All right, so there we go. Now we have our ribbon. So that's how I did the ribbon. So you can choose other colors. Use reds or greens for the holiday, or you know, whatever you want. So it's just really a fun bow here that just kind of fluffs up more, and you're only doing 2 loops, but it's fluff up a lot more because you cut all that ribbon in half, and then you've got your little pieces, and then you're going to see your gold might separate, and that's okay. That just adds, you know, that much more. There's one over here and there's one right here, and those just happen to separate when you know, when you cut it. And you could actually go into that bow and grab, let's see if we can. I've not tried it, but I'm thinking you can just go in and grab your gold if you want it separate. Yeah. And then just pull the gold out. Yep. See? So now you have all this gold separate and then just there. So you can definitely do that if you wanted to just add that much more detail on your card. So that's how I did the bow. Now let's go back. Let's put this together really quick because it's really simple. I did this one in early espresso, my branch, and I decided it was kind of dark. I decided to soften it up and use soft suede. I really like the soft suede. Then I took my flowers and I'm just going to kind of poke them in the middle. All right, there's one. There's 2. And these branches are so pretty. I did one, I kind of had my thought on this right before I left to vacation, and I was like, oh, I just loved it. And I was like, okay, good choice. All right, so let's use our glue dots. This is the easiest for me, is to put the glue dot on. My husband, if you hear our drill, he's fixing our cabinet. One of the doors, it's one of those self-closing, and one of the doors, the cabinet keeps, the door keeps coming off, so he's in there fixing it. All right, so let's do these 2. Oh, thanks, Paulette. Thanks, Star. All right, somebody was asking me recently if I had another goal coming up, because I did get my trip, and so I was really excited about that. And my next goal that I have is I am close to my 100,000 in sales. So that's my next goal, is to get that. So I'm super excited about that. It'll be close. I'm hoping I get it before we go to on stage. So that is my next goal. Somebody asked, and that is it. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add our flowers. And so I'm going to add it right here on the, oops, that's kind of a lot of glue, which is why you want something like this, but that's okay. And I'm going to set it right there. If I can let go of my finger, it probably has glue on it. All right. There we go. And now, I believe what I did with the smaller ones is I'm going to take, and I used glue dots again. I'm going to do a glue dot. Let's see, this is almost out. And I'm going to put it on the bottom of the colored section. And I'm going to take a large one and a small one. Okay, so let's do the small one first. Okay, so one of the things I remember now is when you use a glue dot, I'm going to use a little bit of glue too because they're still a little bit wet. And so I'm going to do a glue dot, but I'm also going to add just a little bit of glue. I'm going to put that one there. And then the large one, I'm probably just going to add a little bit of glue right next to it just to make sure, because for video purposes it's kind of wet, but I would normally let them dry a little bit longer. Okay, and now we're going to add this one up here. And I want the leaves to go outward. No, I think I want the leaves to go more like this, because there's no green over here yet. So we'll just put that on there. Okay, so there we go. And now we're going to take another big leaf. You just have to be kind of careful. It's delicate right now. Nothing's sticking right. We're going to add another glue dot. You are welcome, Linda. You know, sometimes it's like, yes, I made the card and I can show you how to make it, but I think it's more like, let's focus on some of the techniques and the details, because, you know, you can really use this technique and detail on any card. So I kind of like, yeah, I can show you what I did on the card. We won't, you know, you don't need to see me. Today we're not going to focus on coloring the apples, you know what I mean? So I thought, all right, I want to do something a little bit different and kind of just show you a little bit more of the technique I used versus just putting the card together and doing some of the stuff already so quickly. All right, then I'm going to put this one, and I'm just attaching it to the bottom of the other leaf, so it'll, you know, kind of look like they were together. We'll fluff everything up in a second. I'm going to go ahead and add this leaf, and then you'll see we'll put this one. Seems like they're sticking okay now. We'll put that one there. Okay, I want to fluff up. I zoomed in, so is it too close for you guys? I want to make sure it's not too close or too far. Sometimes I have to look up because it's such a smaller screen that I don't want to be off screen. So, all right, so there we go. There's our leaves and our petals. Everything's good. And we'll just put this one right here on the end. Okay, and we'll just put, let's see, I'm going to put this up because there's nothing else going to be up. Everything else is down. So we'll point that leaf up. See what I mean? I put the leaf going upward because we're doing more down here. So I decided, okay, let's put that up. And now I just kind of fluffed it all up. Take this and get your little centers. Kind of fluff everything up a little bit. Fluff up the petals. And can you imagine, you could just do these any color. And it doesn't have to be two colors either. You can do them white and then add. But now what really makes these come to life is I chose to do, excuse me, the champagne. And I did them all, just the small ones, just to leave it dainty looking. It's just to add a little bit And then I just take the tip and make sure it's in there. And this one. You know how I used to cut these along the side and pull them out? I decided I just cut it, and it's easier to just get it from the middle, and then I don't have to pull it out at all. And it just works a lot easier for me. All right, and now we're just going to fluff it up. But look at how those rhinestones just really, I'm going to have to lift it up here, really just made those come to life with the rhinestones on there. Isn't that pretty? So again, that's what I did here. And see how they're already lightening up. See how these are still a little bit darker, but they're already lightening up. And then you've got the ribbon, you know, kind of covering and a little over there, and that's okay. I mean, you could go crazy and add another branch right here if you wanted, or add another branch, you know, and really fill this up. That would be a whole lot of flowers, but I just love these flowers. So easy. All right, so let's put that aside, and we'll just let those dry over here. Okay, so now let's get messy. So what I did is I used the Artistic Mixed Decorative Masks, and you've got this plaid one that's in here, and I haven't played with that one yet, but you have these two. And these are the ones we're going to use. And I washed them off, but not very good, because I know I'm going to wash them again, and then I'm really going to scrub them and put them away. And what I like to do is I do have a little pot of, a little bowl of water over here next to me, soapy water. So I'll throw them in when I'm done. But if you guys have one of those scrubby things that do your hands, I take that and I scrub my stencils. Put them down flat. I do it usually on the side of my sink. And then I get soap, and then I just kind of, you know, scrub them so that you're scrubbing flat, so that you get all this extra stuff on that I have on there still. So that's kind of what I do with that. All right, so we're going to start with this one first. Let's start with a piece of paper. Now what I do, try and put my stuff back a little bit, is I use these sticky grid sheets, and you can get these from Amazon. And I put these down like this. Okay, and then I'm going to take this. I've been using this one a bit, so it should be, it's got paste on it, but it'll be fine. Basically, it's just to hold your card, and it's a low tack, but enough to hold your stuff. They come in bigger sheets also. And then I'm going to put this right here on top. And here is where you could use washi tape, but I have this removable tape here right next to me, so we're just going to use that. And when you put your tape down, you don't want to get it on your paper, because then you're not going to be able to get your paste there, okay? So just make sure that your stencil or mask doesn't move. Lay it flat. Okay, push it really good. Depends on what kind of tape you're using. I'm using removable, so it's going to kind of want to move. All right, so here we go. Now I have this palette knife kind of spatula thing here that I've had, and this is what I use. You could use, there's all different kinds. I also have one of these, and it's plastic, and you can, you know, use that too. Whatever you have that works. You could even use an old credit card or gift card or whatever's flat that you can use. Use that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to slide this off over here, and we're going to use this other mat. So what I'm going to do, because the colors on here, what I used is I used the polish pink and the petal pink, because I wanted it to blend in, you know, with my colors. And you can't, I used this sparkle, can you tell? Yeah, there. I used this sparkle paste. So that's what we're going to use, and I don't have a whole lot left of this one. It's on my order, but you're going to pull some out, and probably a little more than that, because we're going to just do the first color first, and that is the biggest amount of color, right? So is this color. The next one's not as big. So we're going to lay this right here, and I get off as much white as I can. And now we're going to take our petal pink, and you only need a drop or two. So I usually start with a drop, and then I color it in. I mix it all up and see if that's the color I want first. So let's just mix this up. The re-inker goes a long, long way. So a lot of times people go, oh, I don't buy the re-inkers because, you know, I don't use my pads that much or whatever, but there's so much more you can do with it. Okay, so I'm going to get my palette knife. It's like baking, right? You want to make sure everything's in there mixed really well. But see how pretty that color is? If you put too much, it's going to get too dark. And it's going to look more orangey. And this is supposed to be just a soft petal pink color, right? So I'm just going to make sure that it's really good and mixed. So I'm all signed up for on stage. I know there's demonstrators on here. Are you guys scheduled all signed up for on stage, I hope? I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to tell anybody how close I am to my 100,000 because I'm very close. And whoever puts me over the edge, I'm going to come up with something good. I think I'm going to come up with something. I got to think about it, but so nobody knows who they'll be until it happens. And that order that puts me over, I'm going to do a big prize. I got to think about it, what it's going to be. But it'll be something like either a shopping gift certificate with my shop, or maybe like a Stamparatus or something fun like that. I don't know. I got to think about what I'm going to do. Or maybe it'll just be a box of all kinds of goodies that are current items. I don't know. I got to think about all that. Oh, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Thanks, Dana. All right. Yay, Dana. That's where I'm going to be, in Anaheim. Yay. Well, you're definitely going to have to come say hi. I'm at a disadvantage, you guys, because I don't know what you look like. So you have to come say hi. All right, so now you notice I'm doing it as flat as I can. Keep taking you want to make sure that you can see these plastic, your stencil. You don't want it too thick. And then just keep rubbing it on, okay, and then taking it off. Make sure you get your edges so that you get the whole thing. All right, now I'm going to go back. I have a little more, so see I'm pretty much using everything. And now I'm going to go over here, go to your open area and start working back towards your smaller areas that you have to fill in, because you need your most over here. Okay, now you're still picking stuff up. Okay, so now, and it dries very fast, so make sure you are scraping off as you go, because you're going to start seeing that it's going to be a lot harder to do. Okay, now I'm going to go inward because I've got some on the other side of my palette. All right, so now I'm pretty much done. So see how quick and fast that was? You just have to kind of make sure you get it all on there, and that's good. All right, we're going to take this off, peel it. Look how pretty that is. Can you guys see? Look how pretty. And it's all sparkly. Okay, so now we're going to leave it. Now, if you wanted to add gold on this, I'm going to take my tape off real quick, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to try to reuse this tape. We'll see. All right, so I got to put this in my bucket of water over here. All right, so at this point right here, you don't want to wait too long, and you can add gold. So this is what I did on this one. So what I did is I added the distressed gold in the back. I started out with evening evergreen paper, and then I didn't color this part. I just did this in the white that comes right out of the jar. So this is white that came out of the jar. Then I took our leaf gold and I laid it down, and it was already drying pretty quickly. So you can see that there's gold all over, but it's not like a solid gold. Okay, and then I did red, and then I added a little bit more gold. So you can see gold on here, like in some places that it's like a lot of gold, and then some not so much. And then I did, this is the boughs of holly, and then I did this out of that, and then I did a black embossing with this right here, and added the sentiment on there. So I just love this set. So I thought I wanted to try a Christmas one and just kind of see what it looked like. So that was the background on that. So, and then I just added some of that leaf gold. All right, so that is how quickly this dries. Okay, so we're gonna take this off. I'm gonna leave this on here because we're gonna do something else, but I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. All right, so it's held on with the sticky thing, so I'm just gonna tap this in the trash. All right, so there we go. Excuse me, to get a drink. All right. Yeah, at the very end, Michelle, when you go back to the beginning of the video, the sound didn't work. I apologize, everybody. I have to remember that when I turn off everything and all my programs, I think it just redoes this, turns off my volume. Oh, I just got, oh, sorry. Thanks, Steph. Okay, so now we kind of wipe this off. We're going to bring out some more of this. So we don't need quite as much. And my poor little thing is just about empty. And I bought this, it has to be a year plus ago. So use your Ziploc bag, and I've had it like this. You could just fold it over and make sure it's double protected. You could even seal it if you wanted, but it works really well just like this. I don't seal it, it works fine. Okay, so this one, I took polished pink, and I'm going to put 2 drops. Okay, even though, well, it looks like there's going to be 3, so this one might be a little bolder, which is fine. I don't know what I'm going to use this for. It might not be the apples. And so just get your, so this might be like a really bright pink, which is fine. So you just want to make sure it's really mixed really well, because you don't want your ink to smear all over the place. You want it to be on the project only. So just, again, like here we are making our paste. Making our food coloring, our frosting, whatever. Ooh, wouldn't this be pretty on the gingerbread house? Thanks, Donna. This would be so pretty on the gingerbread house. I might have to do something like that and make it more like a cookie. I have an idea on that. So we'll make it more like a cookie, and then I can decorate it with some different frosting. I just have to get my embossing paste to get here. And you can do some in shimmer and some not, because we have regular embossing powder. It's not shimmer. All right, so now my pink is in there really well. So now you're going to take this embossing and you're going to put it right on top. And now my head might get in the way. I have to see how these are the diamond shaped, and so is this one. So you just want to make sure that you get in there and get your, I'm not going to take the time like I would if I was not doing a video, because you'll be here all day. But I really like to just make sure that it's on there nicely, because this is dry, or almost dry. It's dry enough I can do this. Okay, so you can kind of see the shadow from the sparkle behind it, just to make sure that you're aligned okay, but it's hard without sticking my head all the way in here. But we're gonna go with right here and just say, yeah, this is good. Let's hope it is. And put our tape back on. All right, so there we go. And now we're gonna take our pink and the same thing. I hold it down over here just so it's kind of down. And we're gonna just go over everything. Again, you wanna pick up your extra because you have a lot of space to cover, right? And you don't want it too thick. And if it goes on the edge of your paper, don't worry about it, because you can always wipe that off when your project's all done. Or, you know, your piece here, your panel. Okay, so get the big pieces first. More than likely, you're going to be trimming your edges anyway. I would recommend not putting the exact size in here, because normally you're going to have to trim it anyway, and it kind of gives you a cleaner edge, because you will have some paste hanging off the edge. And I use my guillotine for that. I don't use my trimmer. I have used my trimmer. It's not gonna, it'll dull your blade, so just bring in your old blade. Now look at your image. Like, I had some light pieces there in the middle, so I just went back in. I'm kind of looking at it at a different angle, making sure I have everything, and it looks like I do. And now when you lift up, you have this really pretty image. I'm going to take these off and put this in the water, because as fast as it dries that fast also on your stencil. So I would have some water nearby that you could just drop that in, and a baby wipe, because it's kind of messy. If anything, take this, I'm going to wipe it off first, but you could definitely take this and wrap it in a baby wipe, because I don't want the wood to go in the water and get messed up. So I'm going to clean this off the best I can. This is easier to clean off than stencils. So I'm just going to wipe that off. And then I'm going to come back in. Oh, you know what I should have done? Silly me. But see how it's already drying? So we'll just wipe that off. And don't forget, this is re-inker, so you will get ink on your hands. You will get color. And that's what's fun about mixed media items, is it's like playing, right, with Play-Doh. Got different projects to do. All right, so there's all that. See how fast it's drying already? All right, so that is how I did this. And now normally I would, you know, cut that down to the size that I want. I would normally put it in at 4 1/4 by, you know, 5 1/2 or whatever, and then just be prepared to cut it down to whatever you want. Thanks, Debbie. All right, so there we go. Now see, you can see this one's a lot darker. Now you can lift this up, pull this off. I'm saving that. I'll put that to the side for right now. And then there is our other piece. And see, on the edge it can kind of get a little boo-boo there, and your hands can get in the way. And this is very wet right now, so we're gonna have to let that dry. And it will lighten up some, but we did make it darker. Okay, so there's that. I'll wash those up. And then that's the one we just did. And then here's the gold. Now again, I didn't use petal pink. I just used the regular white right out of the jar, the sparkle. And then I put real red on top, but I put it on the evening evergreen paper so that it would look a little, you know, more Christmassy. And I added the distressed gold. This gold piece here is such a thin paper. I did cut it right out of the middle here because I used a dark paper, and because this gold is so thin, you won't even notice it or feel it on the other side of your project. So I did anything that's gold or glimmer or anything like that, a specialty paper, I definitely try to use the inside if I can for something. And then I can always use it again later. And you'll see that on Bingo. There's one of the projects there that I created that is from a cutout that I had a bunch left over from something else. So that's was what I wanted to use. So that is really it. So again, here's our flowers that we did. Look how pretty those are. And you could just put those on anything. So pretty. And the little champagne in the middle is so pretty. But if we wouldn't have added those little, you know, the little, whatever you call these things in the middle, the little stem things. I know they're called pearls on fake flowers. I don't know. Are they on real? I don't know. Stephanie, let me know. But anyway, so they just add that much more. It's just a little more detail. Just so pretty. So there's that. And then here's our bow that we did. Again, you can pull the gold out. Sometimes, like on this one, it just came out by itself, which is fine. I love the look of it. And so this was the light pink. We could have gone darker pink if we were doing darker over here too. We could definitely do it darker. But there you go. I hope you guys liked it. Oh, you're welcome. You are welcome. Dana, I was kind of like, what hotel am I going to stay in? What am I going to do? Same thing. I knew I was going. We're driving, of course. It's not that far. And, but then, you know, we needed to figure out what hotel. And anyway, finally got it all taken care of. I'm done. I'm ready to go. Now I'm working on my swaps. Thank you. Thanks, Betty. I appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of different little techniques to do on this card. So this, of course, again, was the original card. And we just kind of looked at some different techniques and things that I did on it. And so I hope you guys will use those techniques and share them with other projects you have in mind that you can put together and do. And let's see, my host code is, this is it for August. 13-hour drive. No, thank you. We drive, thanks to Shauna. Oh, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, you guys. That's awesome. I appreciate that. We drive 14 hours when we go up north. It's actually about 11 when we see my daughter, but it was more like 14, 15 when we went to drive to see my son, and that's Dana. So swaps it's all up to you. Now, when I used to do conventions, I would take like a couple hundred. Usually I would do 2 different ones or 4 different ones, and I would do, you know, 50 of each or 100 of each. This is different because it's on stage. It's not convention in Utah like I used to do. So I am going to take like 100 or 150. Right now I have 50 done, almost done. And then I'll come up with a different project and I'll do another 50. And if I have time, I'll do another 50. And so my goal is 150. I don't know how many people are there, but I can use the cards. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to plan 150. But I think the girl that's going with me, I think she's taking 100. So I'm not sure, but I think 100. So it's just however many you want to bring back and get some ideas and examples and stuff. I love doing swapping. So I don't know. It depends on how much time I have to get them done. Because I only have the one created so far. And I still have to do some more. So that's my plan. All right. And then, of course, you guys, bingo. I have it. I will be here. With nothing, no accidents or issues coming up. I will be here on the 23rd to do bingo. I have 2 fall projects, 1 holiday project, and I have to. Oh, you know what? Let me look. Hold on, because look, I've been gone, and now I'm right. I'm thinking, what was the 4th project? I don't know. 3 fall projects, 1 Christmas project. The Christmas one I could not pass up. So 3 fall, 1 Christmas. Everybody was wanting fall, and so that's what I did. And they are not Halloween. Nothing's Halloween. All right. Thank you. I'm glad you guys liked them, Connie. All right, everybody. I think that's it for now. I hope you signed up for bingo. You get a chance at a $100 shopping spree. There will be 4 given away. And I will see you then. I will be here on Wednesday. I gotta remember what day it is. At 5:30. So I hope to see you then. Leave a message below. Let me know what you're interested in seeing on Wednesday. And I'll do a drawing. I'll do a drawing for all of those that respond below after the video. Come back to the video and leave a comment. Thanks a lot, everybody, and have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.